Hey there, I'm Celine and welcome back to my channel. This video is kind of random. It came about randomly. I didn't plan on filming today. Usually I like to write up a couple of notes just so that I can keep myself on track when I go on tangents and I'm like, wait, what was I even talking about in the first place? I don't have any of that today, so hopefully I don't get too off track in this video. But the thought just kind of came to me. I had recently read a book that I really liked what the dedication said, and I had taken a picture of it and I came across that photo today in my phone. And it kind of goes along with a book that I'm currently reading. And so I'll just go ahead and read you the quote that kind of inspired this. This is Powerful. This is a novella from the Powerless series. This is not Christian fiction or anything, but this is a really good like YA romance fantasy. Like, it's definitely a fantasy, but it's got a good bit of romance. But anyways, we're not here to talk about books. If you want to hear me talk about books, check out my book channel if you haven't already. Shameless plug. But the dedication on this is to the girls with softer dreams. Your purpose is just as powerful. And I really liked this. And for me, as a Christian, I know what my purpose is, my ultimate purpose, the reason that I was brought here to the earth for. And that was that, you know, the Lord saw that I could in some way would be able to lead others to Christ. And that is my ultimate purpose in life, is to not just keep my faith to myself, but share it with others and hopefully sprout seeds of faith in them. That's my purpose. But what I kind of really thought about with this was that sometimes those of us girls who have softer, simpler dreams, sometimes we can feel, I don't feel this way anymore, but there were times in my life that I felt shy and like I didn't want to openly say like what my biggest dreams were because I felt like they weren't big enough. I'm not gonna go out here like pouring out all of my, you know, biggest dreams, like, you know, all of my life's dreams here on the internet, but just generally speaking, my greatest dream in life, my biggest dream, is to be a wife and a mother and have a family and raise that family alongside with a very strong, godly, masculine man and lead that family in faith and raise them in the old-fashioned and traditional ways, which it's like, if I really think about it, the way that I would raise a family and, you know, morals, a set of morals that I would carry out in my own life and be an example to my children with, that doesn't seem like old-fashioned or traditional to me. But yet I know that other people will look at me and say, oh, she's very old-fashioned and she's very traditional in that way. But for me, it's like, why have we even strayed from that it doesn't seem normal? It seems like, oh, you're old-fashioned for wanting to live your life that way. And, you know, for me, when I first kind of came to this conclusion that my biggest dream in life is to be a wife and a mother, and to have a house and just grow our own sustenance and, you know, tend to whatever amount of land I will be able to have, tend to that well, it felt like, well, maybe my dreams aren't big enough. Like, I feel like that's so basic. Why it doesn't feel like a big enough dream. So like I felt ashamed to tell people that. And I think that's because in modern times, it's like, I feel like there's a lot of pressure, especially like when you're coming out of high school. People are always like, so what's next? What are you gonna do? You know, luckily I had been around a lot of people that weren't just like, what college are you gonna go to? What are you gonna study? You know, I have generally been surrounded by people who are pretty like-minded, and that college is not the only option. There are many different paths you can take to make a way for yourself in life. But it still felt like I have never really felt like I have had a strong desire to be in a particular career field. I just, even now as I am pursuing different avenues for my future, I know that I don't have that drive and desire to be the career woman and the boss babe that I feel like has been so normalized in our modern day American culture. And not that that's a bad thing. If you have a drive and a passion to go into a career field, that's great. I will cheer for a woman who is going out and working in a field that she's passionate about, if she feels that she can make a difference and be a light to others and show, be a guidance in faith to others in whatever field that is, I will applaud her and cheer her on just as much as I would the stay-at-home mom. I'm not like of the philosophy that one way is superior. I have preferences, but I'm not going to, you know, look down on anybody. But I do follow a lot of different people. I follow women who have always been stay-at-home moms, or who were going to college and have even gone through their careers and then became stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home wives. On both sides, there can be two extremes where the one will ridicule the other. There are some in the, you know, homemaking and stay-at-home side of things who might kind of look at the woman who is a career woman and doesn't, you know, stay at home. She still is the maker of her home at the end of the day. She is the woman of the household, but she looks at the career woman with like, oh, you should be at home with your kids. Why are you out having a career? And then there will be some career women who are like, you're throwing your life away. Like, you're basically acting as a servant to your husband, and like that must be so, like, you're just being like a doormat and letting your husband walk all over you. And just, you know, I see so many comments of those because I'll be honest, I tend to follow more of the stay-at-home homemaking type people, and I notice a lot of those type of comments in those types of videos or posts on social media, and that's just not true. Okay, I feel like there can definitely be cases of that, but to me, being a stay-at-home mom or a homemaker does not feel demeaning at all, or like I would be a doormat. It would feel like the greatest privilege, because obviously there are sacrifices that are going to have to be made with both parents not having you know, full-time incomes. That's not to say that the stay-at-home mom can't make money and other side, you know, businesses and little things like that. There are sacrifices that have to be made regardless, and I would see that as such a privilege and a great honor to your husband and to your family unit. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that too much. There's extremes on both sides, and I just want to say, like, on both sides, on both of the extremes. Let's just be kind to one another, okay? Let's not like stomp down on another woman because we see that we may believe that it's more beneficial for the wife and mother to be at home schooling her own kids and tending to her own home and, you know, being in the home, that being her full-time job, so to say. Let's not like look down on each other from both ways. I guess what I would kind of say to that argument is just, and even something that I have been thinking about as I am, you know, a young woman trying to like pave my way and just find the direction that the Lord wants me to go in, is for one, being in prayer about it and ultimately living my life in obedience to what I feel the Lord is leading me to, but also just being very purposeful about things. And I think when you're in prayer, you automatically end up being very purposeful and you put a lot of thought into things, which brings me to this book that I'm currently reading. I haven't finished it. I'm only on the second chapter, so I can't say if I recommend this or not. So far, yes. There are a couple of things that have me like, So far I don't agree with 100% of the things in here, but generally speaking, I really like this book so far. If you can see all the tabs, just for 2 chapters, that's a lot of tabs in there. So there are some great quotes and just kind of pieces of advice in this book. But this book is all about, I feel like, really being purposeful in your single season. This is Lady in Waiting by Jackie Kendall and Debbie Jones. It says, "Becoming God's Best While Waiting for Mr. Right." And in this, the authors go into say, like, don't go through this book feeling like, okay, once I accomplish these things, like not having a heart of expectancy that once you hypothetically accomplish doing all of these things and changing your life in these ways, that a husband will automatically come to you, you know? It's how to, gosh, words are not coming to me today, for lack of a better word, okay? How to become a better Christian and just leading a very faith-driven life. And being very purposeful in that. How, as a single, you can be. The second chapter was all about being a lady of diligence. So different types of ways you can be diligent with showing up to others in ministry, showing up to your own family, like siblings and parents, and just different ways that you can be ministering to other people with the amount of time that we single people have on our hands, because no matter how busy we feel like we are a lot less busy than married women and mothers, because we have other people then that we need to be looking out for. We need to be looking out for our husband, praying over our husband, making sure he's fed, and, you know, keeping up the house and with children, you know, parenting them, mothering them, and, you know, and also on top with a husband and a whole household. So anyhow, this book is just really, so far, what I'm getting from it is just being very purposeful and leading your life in a more faithful way, and how you can be denying yourself daily. I've gotten a lot so far. I've journaled a lot just in these 2 chapters. The chapters are a little bit longer, so maybe that's why I feel like I've read a good bit in this book already. But yeah, so far I will keep you updated on this book. I'll probably do another Christian book, like nonfiction Christian book recommendations on this channel. I think I did one a few months back. But anyway, if you are the girl who's maybe feeling embarrassed to share her, what may seem like to others, simple, small dreams, don't be. Your dream to be a wife and a mother and to one day have a house, you know, I'm just kind of putting it out there. that dream is just as important and as meaningful as maybe another girl's dream to have her own company one day. It's just as big and important and significant if it's that significant to you. You know, what's important to us versus another person is gonna differ slightly. And so, you know, don't be ashamed of those things. I guess maybe a way that you can perhaps get over feeling that way is write out in your journal, or if you like to just journal on your phone, write out why those dreams are important to you. Like, why do you want to become a wife, and why do you want to become a mother, and why is that important to you? What makes that so significant to you? What's the importance of those roles to you? Why are they important to you? And I think that might help you overcome that feeling of embarrassment and just, you know, letting go of worrying about what other people will think about it. And if they look at you funny for your biggest dream being that way, I believe that's a work that needs to be done in their heart, because I feel like no dream is too simple. That's just that's just my way of looking at things. But yeah, I hope that maybe this could touch one of you and encourage one of you, if you are feeling that sort of way, to not feel that way, and to just be encouraged that, you know, maybe the Lord put that dream in your heart for a reason, and maybe one day you'll be able to see that dream come to fruition, or you'll be able to see that same, you know, those same skills that you would apply to being a wife and mother, seeing that be applied to other areas like in ministry. And ultimately, we need to lift up our dreams and desires to the Lord, speak them out loud to the Lord, and He listens to those. But ultimately, He's the one who is in control of the outcome of things, and He's in control, and He's guiding you in life. So anyhow, again, I hope that this video could be an encouragement to at least one person out there. And maybe if you related to this, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video.